coaches and players consistently say that when people are improving their game, the most important variable is strike. When we look at historic data of who was dominating at the time, and look at when Tiger Woods, that period when he was by far and away the best player in the world, he was obviously very good in every aspect of his game, but what set him apart from everyone else and where he completely just blew everyone away was outside of 150 yards. You look at the statistics and he's just off the charts in that area, and it's because of his ball striking. What it gave him and what it will give you is consistency and control. So with solid contact, your dispersion will reduce, your distance control will become better. That's why we see the pros, they're so often pin high, because they just have such good distance control. And then also spin control, which becomes so critical when we're playing in the rain and the wind, and it can deviate the shot. And being in control of that will reduce that deviation. So moving into the second tip, which has been massive for me in my golf and also in my life, and that is to set goals and track your progress. I think the resistance we have to this, and the resistance I certainly had, was if you set your goals, it can make it really stark how far away you are from where you want to go. But if we look at it sort of the other way around, it gives you a scaffolding by which to sort of make those little steps to where you want to go. And you get those little wins as you tick bits off along the way to reaching your big goal that just keep you ticking along, rather than just having this massive target like breaking 80 or breaking 90 with no real sort of idea of how you're going to do it, which can make it seem a bit overwhelming. So in terms of implementing these, I go down the route of take statistics on the course, find your baseline, and the best way to do this is to use the strokes gained method. A lot of you will know exactly what that is, some of you won't. I'll go into more detail in a future video, but put simply, it's basically just a way of knowing exactly which part of your game is gaining you shots, which part of your game is losing you shots, so that you know where to focus your practice. And then the second part of the goals leading on from that is to then put skill games in your practice, so where they're trackable and objective, so that you know how you're progressing, and you have the confidence then to go into your next round and think, right, I've done this work, I've seen these improvements, I should be scoring better. And this will make your practice more meaningful and make it more fun, rather than just beating balls away or plonking your basket down by the side of the green and just spraying chips to various different flags, as I used to do when I was a youngster. So moving on to tip number 3, which is to basically have a positive mindset. And there's a couple of things to this. So first of all, a bit of like psychology. There's a big thing in golf and in anything really, of approach versus avoidance mindset. So someone with an approach mindset on the golf course will see a green surrounded by water and see the pin and the green and see where they want to hit it, whereas someone with an avoidance mindset will see the same picture and see the water and see where they don't want to go. And there's a lot of evidence in literature that basically an approach mindset is the way to be successful, and having that confidence will feed into your golf and give you better results. And the second part of that is, I think, in any situation, to take the positives away, whether you've had a practice or a round, good or bad. I mean, golf is hard, it can be frustrating, but if you just take the positives away, it really makes you avoid the situation where you just get frustrated, because that's not helping you out at all. Just get rid of the past and move forward positively. So then tip number 4 is to do a gapping session. So this, I think, is probably the most beneficial thing you can do without doing any extra work on your game at all, because it's just information. what you're doing, you go to your local professional or somewhere near you where they have a TrackMan or a flight scope, any sort of thing that can track the shots. You hit balls and you just get the data on exactly how far each club goes. And that forces you to be really honest with yourself about how far you hit your clubs. It takes away the ego, it takes away everyone's propensity to, myself included, to overestimate how far we hit our shots, which will inevitably, when we play, make us have better results. We'll stop hitting so many shots short. We'll trust the yardages a lot more. And then that feeds into something that I've done only really in the last couple of years, but that has helped me so well. And that is to work in yardages. So it's based around the whole notion of think small, miss small. So what you do is you get the yardage using a Bushnell, and then you take into account the wind, the slope, and the roll, which typically I think we sort of do by saying it's going to be half a club of wind, it might be a club downhill, and then it might roll out a bit. And that's very wishy-washy, and there's a lot in there. And a better way to do it is to go, I've got 150 yards, for example. I've got 5 yards of wind into my face. It's going to be 3 yards downhill, so take 5 off, 145. 155 is into your face, and then take 3 off for the downhill slope, and you get to 152. And then if you say, and I think it's pretty wet, it's not really going to roll anywhere, let's hit it 152. That takes away all these different thoughts in your head and all this noise that isn't going to help your performance, and lets you just focus on, I'm going to hit the ball 152 yards and we'll see what happens. That's been really beneficial for me. I think that's one everyone should implement into their game. Final one, tip 5, which I think needs to get more attention, is to tackle your physical limitations. Obviously, within the industry, technique gets a lot of attention, and rightly so. There are guys like Me and My Golf, Mark Crossfield, who do a fantastic job of highlighting different technical aspects of your game. But what doesn't really get attention is sort of how you use your body to maximise your potential, when at the top of the game it gets so much attention. So I think it's important for 2 primary reasons, and that's short-term results will improve because we'll have a better range of motion, we'll be stronger, which will better equip us to make the swing changes that our coaches prescribe and achieve that better strike that I said before is so important. And then in terms of long-term results, we all want to play golf as well and for as long as possible, and it will give us longevity. We'll be able to play for longer. When we look at Gary Player and Jack Nicklaus, for example, Jack was the better player. We can say that for a fact. But at the age of, Gary's 84 now, and Jack is 79, so they're no spring chickens anymore. But Gary's looked after his body. If they were to play each other now, Gary Player would smoke Jack Nicklaus. I mean, he's able, well into his 80s, to shoot sub 70 rounds on a regular basis, which is just crazy. Awesome, in fact. I think something we could all strive to try and do. So that's it for today. I've put a load of information in the description that I think will help supplement what I've said. I hope at least some of you got out on the golf course this weekend. If you did, I'm very jealous because I didn't. But let me know what your goals are for 2020. And I will see you next time.